Look around you. What do you see? Death? Destruction? Flying bat beasts? Chinese robots? Super mutants? What if I told you almost everything you see in post-war Appalachia is the result of one man? A man with a name you have probably heard while playing, but I promise you, you do not know the true magnitude of death that Thomas Eckhart brought to Appalachia and the United States. Thomas Eckhart's story starts with the construction of the United States Congressional Bunker. Just like the numbered vaults we all know, the Congressional Bunker was supposed to house a large community of people, in this case the United States Congress, and protect them from the nuclear holocaust. The bunker was paid for by the US government, but the construction was controlled by the Enclave and Vault-Tec. Sam Blackwell, another Congress member, questioned the true motives of the construction of the bunker. On his terminal in the Charleston government building, we can read a correspondence between Sam and a mysterious figure called T. Senator, recommended reading for upcoming Intelligence Committee meeting. The Congressional Bunker Project. Who has stake in this? Who's really funding? Is Vault-Tec overly involved? Trustworthy? The answers to these questions are the source of my fears, and exactly why I need your help. T. Subject: Department of Agriculture. Senator, the most recent evidence is pointing to the Department of Agriculture having a large stake in the bunker project. I've put out feelers to find out what Secretary Eckhart's involvement is, and why agriculture is sinking so much time into the bunker. T. So, the Secretary of Agriculture, Thomas Eckhart, is a high-ranking member of the Enclave, with his direct control over the construction of not only the bunker, but also the early warning system that warns members of Congress of incoming warheads. We will see the consequences of this control here in a minute, but for now, let's hear what happened inside of the bunker the day after the bombs fell. Inside of the military wing, in the brig, we can hear an interaction between two Enclave members right after the bombs fell.
White Spring, automated recording, 1.1.2.
That's it. Report just came in from the entrance. Facility's all sealed up. No one else is getting in.
Speaker of the House never made it. Secretary of the Interior died in the med bay. I've got 24 more of our people that should have been here too. God damn it! The early warning system should have given us more time.
Doesn't matter now. We followed the protocols. Control goes to Secretary of the Treasury.
I'll make sure he's informed and brought up to speed. All non-Enclave personnel have been accounted for?
Yes, sir. Members of Congress not on the list are being filtered as we speak. This first batch here has already been processed and interviewed.
All right then. I'll bring down the next bunch. You have your orders.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, the Enclave thanks you for your service to this country.
So it sounds like all the people who didn't belong to the Enclave were executed. On the other side of the room, we can see a combat rifle sitting on a rack. Turning around, we can see a pool of blood along with bullet holes in the wall. This must have been where everyone was executed. The Enclave officer mentioned that there should have been others that made it to the vault in time. Heading over to the archival terminal, we can find out what happened to these high-ranking members of government. Top secret: Cabinet nuclear alarm logs. As you can see, the president was warned and was moved to PR, which we can assume is the Poseidon oil rig. But many other contacts belonging to other high-ranking members of government were deleted or removed. It looks like the only Congress members who were warned about the incoming warheads was the Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of the Interior, and the Secretary of Agriculture, Thomas Eckhart. At first, this may not seem like a big deal. This facility will be under the command of the President, or the Enclave headquarters at Raven Rock in Washington, D.C. after all. Heading out to the command center, we can listen to a surveillance recording detailing what happened to the chain of command.
White Spring, automated recording, 1.1.5. Note, audio compromised. Reconstruction attempted. No use. Still nothing. And you tried both channels? We should have heard something on Alpha or Omega. At least some baseline signal.
Raven Rock gave us no response. We've been sending the encryption code for the last 48 hours.
What about Poseidon? They should have had some sort of answer.
Nothing. Repeated attempts at contact have no response.
It sounds like it's a hard line. Some sort of problem with Alpha, like it was cut.
I'm not sending anyone out to verify the structural integrity during the storm, but it was designed to handle this.
Well, the other option we have to consider is that they can answer. They just won't.
The brass would never allow that. Our procedures were clear.
Well, fuck. Either way, we're on our own for now.
So it sounds like the bunker lost contact with the Poseidon oil rig, which holds the president, and Raven Rock. So whomever is the highest ranking member on location here at the bunker will have to assume command. As far as we know, that would be the Secretary of Treasury, followed by the Secretary of Agriculture, Thomas Eckhart. Heading upstairs, we can hear what happened next.
White Spring, automated recording, 1.1.7.
Ladies and gentlemen, the news is not good. It is my sad duty to inform you the Secretary of the Treasury has passed. Acute radiation sickness, it seems. This, in addition to the unexpected severance of our connection to Raven Rock and the President, means our little enclave is without leadership. According to the rules of succession, outlined long before our entry into this bastion, that responsibility now falls to me. I acknowledge the pain you all must be feeling. I see it on your faces, and I feel it in my heart. Loved ones lost, colleagues gone. But now is not the time to allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by tragedy. This is the moment to recognize and seize the opportunity that lies before us. The world outside believes the war is over, that there are no more true Americans with the will to fight. They are wrong. We are going to fight. We will use this facility to continue the battle against our enemies, against communism, against all the wretched things that brought this war upon us. And we will, for once and for all, put an end to war. When we are victorious, there will be no more enemies left to stand against us. But of course, the rule of law still applies here, my brothers and sisters. The Enclave is the bastion of democracy and will remain so, I assure you. So then, let us vote. All in favor of using this facility and the resources of this land to continue the war that others believe lost, please move to the left side of the room. All who oppose, please move to the right. Well, there you have it. I'm sorry to see so many uncommitted to the cause of America. Mr. Gray here will help sort out accommodations for you all. Everyone else, please follow me down to the science wing.
Accommodations? What the hell's he talking about, Gray?
Not to worry, General. We have a plan for you all. Modus, seal the room.
The room is sealed.
What the hell is...
So the Secretary of Treasury was overcome by radiation sickness. leaving Thomas Eckhart in command of the bunker and the Enclave inside. So in my opinion, this was all part of Thomas Eckhart's plan. First, he cut the hard communication line to Raven Rock, and because he was so involved with the construction of the bunker, he was able to make sure the higher-ranking members of Congress never made it to the bunker by editing out their contacts from the early warning system. Finally, when most of the personnel didn't want to follow Eckhart's plans, Eckhart gathered them in the science wing and eliminated them. Heading over to the science wing, we can't see the aftermath of it because the entrance has been destroyed. Down in the command center, we can hear the aftermath and consequences of him taking control.
White Spring, automated recording. 1.3.3.
48?
That's correct, sir.
And no generals other than Harper?
Correct. All the rest sided with Swafford and were removed.
Damn. Well, one is enough, I suppose. Leonidas saved democracy with 300 Spartans. Imagine the stories they'll tell about us when we do it with 48. Just make sure our scouts know to keep an eye out for any opportunities to expand our forces.
They'll be made aware, Mr. Secretary.
And Modus,
Yes, Mr. Secretary?
General Harper is not to leave this facility, and he goes nowhere without an escort. Is that clear?
Crystal, Mr. Secretary.
Thomas makes it seem very important that he has a general present in the bunker. Up in the presidential cabinet room, we can hear the reasons behind his concerns. Eckhart, very well, we all know our parts then. Harper, I do have one question, Mr. Secretary. Eckhart, and that is? Harper, correct me if I'm wrong, but the automated silos, they require a general of appropriate rank to be present, just a general. Presidential authorization is not required. Eckhart, that is correct, General. Harper, and if we're mobilizing a not insignificant number of men to achieve this goal, Santiago's men I'm sure some of us may not fully trust yet. Eckhart, and you're asking why it's important we're doing this? Harper, I'm asking why we're risking few and precious resources so you can call yourself president, when it's not necessary for the mission. Eckhart, to the contrary, General Harper, it is quite necessary. All of us around this table understand the dedication required to accomplish our goals here, the sacrifice. But to ensure the loyalty of those out there, we cannot presume dedication alone will be enough. We require authority, and those soldiers and statesmen recognize only two great authorities, God and the President of the United States. And I don't know of an automated system we can use to make a God, so the latter will have to do. As we know from the story of Fallout 76, we have to be promoted to General in order to access Appalachia's nukes. If Eckhart's plan requires the use of these nukes, he also needs a general present. In this entry, he also mentions that he wants to become president, saying it will give him authority over the army and statesmen. Heading back to the command center, we can hear how he hopes to accomplish this.
White Spring, automated recording. 2.9.6.
So, what have our scouts found thus far, Major? Is there anything left up there?
A few good leads, Mr. Secretary. It seems a collection of firemen, policemen, and doctors have started organizing. They're calling themselves the Responders. We believe there may be some strong candidates among the group for acquisition.
Do you think they'll come willingly?
Most likely not, but Dr. Norris says he's been making progress on his reprogramming regimen.
We're not going to be able to torture our way back to supremacy, Major.
No, sir. That's why I think these other two leads are so promising. Gray found a facility. Chinese.
What? The Chinese? Here?
Oh, it's no longer active, sir. There were a few stragglers in the facility when our men arrived, but Gray and his team made short work of them. It looks as though they were trying to build some kind of invasion force. Robotic.
Were they now? Send a contingent. I want it brought under our control.
Already underway.
Wonderful. And the other?
Well, our men made it to West Tech. It seems they were working on,
I know what West Tech was working on, Major. Did your men see if the systems there are still viable?
They are, sir. But these monsters, I don't know if we can control them.
Let's be sure of that. Send a few technicians. See what it would take to make it ours.
Yes, sir.
Any word on my personal request?
Yes, sir. It seems the automated voting system can be reprogrammed, as you suggested. You say the word, and we can begin the process.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Thank you, Major.
So he's planning on manipulating the automated voting machines in order to become president. We will find out later if that plan came to fruition. So right now, it seems like Thomas Eckhart's plan is going smoothly. Well, heading down to the medical bay, we can hear what happened to General Harper.
White Spring, automated recording. 6.2.1.
Modus, what's happened?
We're terribly sorry, Mr. President. We brought him here as quickly as we could. General Harper's last moments were, at least, peaceful.
What? You're finished? He's still warm. Shock him again.
Sir, I don't believe that's wise.
Do it!
No response.
Again!
Sir, the General is dead.
Damn it. Modus, the bunker's promotion system. Can you override it?
No, sir.
So we'll need a new general to get into the silos.
Yes, sir.
Burn the body. Have all the unassigned soldiers rallied at dawn.
So without General Harper, Thomas Eckhart is going to have to find a new general. Heading upstairs to the lobby, we can hear from a pack of army personnel who walked all the way from DC to the congressional bunker.
White Spring, automated recording. 5.3.1.
So, you made it all the way from the Capitol. How'd it look?
You ever been deployed, Mr.
Gray. Not exactly. Did a couple visits overseas, Asia mostly.
You like talking about him?
No.
That's what it was like. Better left unsaid.
Couldn't have been that bad. They say you only lost 5 men? Pretty incredible. Considering how bad it is in the Capitol, so you say.
What exactly are you implying?
Remind me again why a group of soldiers from DC decided to come all the way out to Appalachia? Didn't you have orders?
We came out here because one of my men heard a rumor this place existed. Because our families were scattered to the winds or dead. Because the White House was hit with a thermonuclear weapon, and the only place we thought the government could have possibly survived the horrors we saw was right here. And we were right. We've seen hell, Mr. Gray. We're here to make sure the Reds get it worse.
These new personnel were a lucky break for Eckhart. He ended up running El and Santiago through the promotion system. Here is a conversation between Santiago and Eckhart.
White Spring, automated recording. 5.2.4.
Colonel Santiago, is it? Thomas Eckhart, Secretary of Agriculture. Good to have you here, soldier.
Pleasure to be here, sir. Nice to finally have a solid roof over our heads.
I can only imagine. I'm sure you've seen some horrifying things.
Sir, it's like nothing we ever trained for. Not really.
I know. We've all suffered. Even those of us here in this bunker. It was supposed to be safe and, well, you've seen how few of us are left.
I have, sir.
But you and your team have fared surprisingly well, all things considered. Making it all the way from the Capitol with, I'm told, minimal casualties. Very impressive.
Thank you, sir. I try and run a tight ship and look after my men.
Well, I, for one, am exceedingly glad to have you here. We've got room and supplies for all of you. Now, I'm told that you've already had some preliminary briefings on our mission here.
Your people gave me a very rough overview, sir.
Good. We can't do anything to turn back time, stop the terrible tragedy that's befallen our great nation. But it's our purpose here to make sure something like this never happens again. Is that something you'd be willing to help with?
Sir, I would very much like to know more.
So it sounds like Santiago is going along with Eckhart's plan for now. In the next recording, we can hear what happens when the now General Santiago confronts Eckhart about his ambitions.
White Spring, automated recording, 6.9.7.
No, Mr. President. I don't agree and I won't support it.
General Santiago, may I remind you...
You know, I'm real sick of you calling me that.
Why? You earned it. You're the highest-ranking military officer here, maybe in the nation.
It was given to me by a machine.
And you still received every bit of power that came with it. And now it's time to put that power to use. Because that's our mission.
Releasing Chinese robots and super mutants and whatever monsters your people have cooked up on the populace at large has never been the mission.
I want to do this as little as you, Ellen. But we've tried half measures. If we're going to overcome DEF CON, we need to be committed.
No! This is too far, Thomas. I thought I could ignore all the blood you've shed. The Congress people, Blackwell, your fellow Enclave members. I've heard the recordings, and I stayed, because I thought I wanted revenge against the Reds that badly. But not this badly. And I assure you, my men don't either. None of us are going to be a party to this.
I'm exceedingly disappointed to hear it, General.
What the hell? What the... What did you...
Are you all right, Mr. President?
I'm fine, Modus. Call up the guard. One of my men. Have her put in a cell. Keep her sedated, restrained, and alive. We're still going to need her.
So for now, Eckhart still has a general, only she is now locked up in the brig. Heading back down to the brig, we can find out what the rest of her squad did about her arrest.
White Spring, automated recording, 8.5.2.
You sure you gave her the right shit? We don't have time to screw around here.
The label said it's the right stuff. Just give it a second.
We don't have a second. They're gonna be onto us soon.
What's going...
Sir, we need you on your feet. We're short on time here.
Ragnar's daughter? Jackson? What the hell?
Glad to see your brain's not totally fried, sir.
Here's the quick version, sir. Eckhart's released the beast. We're at DEF CON 1. We're gonna stop him and undo as much as we can before it gets out of hand. But first, we need you on your feet.
Good God. How long have I been out?
Doesn't matter right now. We're in open revolt mode here, so time ain't on our side.
I didn't authorize anything like this.
No, sir, you did not. But at this point, we don't really need your approval. Could just use a few extra hands to help us clean up this mess.
Lead the way, Captain.
So Santiago's squad is looking to stop Eckhart from fulfilling his plans. At this point, there's no more surveillance recordings to find out what happened next. But luckily, down in a storage area below the vault door, we can find a broken assaultron where we can pass a level 7 intelligence check and learn what happened to everyone in the bunker.
Initiating final playback.
Engage. That's the last of them. Entrance is clear, General. Modus, have the rest of these things stand down. The General's placed Eckhart under arrest. It's over.
General Santiago is dead, Major.
What? What the hell was that?
There's been a detonation in the weapons lab. It appears the agent has broken containment and is filtering into the air system.
Modus! What are you doing? Open the goddamn door!
This facility is now quarantined.
Modus! Open the fucking door! You're gonna kill us all!
To the contrary, Major. We're fixing the problem.
So Modus decided if the Enclave didn't control the bunker, then no one would. Just outside the bunker's service entrance, we can see a series of dumpsters that holds the remain of Santiago's team and Eckhart's Enclave. Presumably, one of these skeletons is the body of Eckhart, giving a fitting end to a tyrant who destroyed all of Appalachia. Alright guys, that's all I have on Thomas Eckhart. If you've made it this far in the video, consider joining my channel's membership. You get a cool little cryptid symbol next to your name when you comment, and it goes a long way in supporting my channel, so thank you. Also make sure to like and subscribe, it really helps out my channel, and consider following me on Twitter. It's the best place for me to keep in contact with you guys. But anyway, this has been Widgeon TV. Thanks for watching, guys.